Everybody, Jay Weitzner, certified medical exercise specialist and muscle system care provider. I want to talk to you today about an exercise. And the reason I want to talk to you about this exercise is because I had a client that was seeing me for some knee issues. And in addition to working with her, we were speaking about some of the things that she may be doing in her exercise life that might have contributed to this knee issue she had. There's no way to be sure, but this was certainly one thing that she told me about that kind of some bells went off. So here's the idea. So concerning a squat, right? I'm not going to go over all the different things about a squat. There's a billion things to say, but people do squats. They do squats like this, and they do squats with different feet widths, and their feet turned in and turned out. Okay, so here's the one thing I want to talk to you about. For all of you out there that are doing squats with your feet intentionally wider or feet turned out, I just quickly want to talk about potentially, right, and to play it safe, how far might you want to put your feet and how far out might you want to turn your feet when you do a squat. So this is the one thing. I'm a big proponent of not moving into positions that we cannot take ourselves. Things like, as an example, that's as far back as I can pull my arms, that's it, right? They don't go any further back, that's it. So if I was lying on my back doing some kind of bench press, if I had heavy enough weight, it might shove my arms back. And I'm not saying never do that. I'm just saying playing it safe and maybe a decent idea sometimes to not move beyond the amount you can move on your own. Sure, there's sometimes maybe you want to, but generally speaking. So we're gonna take that principle and apply it to the squat, specifically concerning the knee. Here's the deal. If you were to take one leg and just move it out to the side, you'll notice that to some degree your leg turns outward, right? Right now my foot's facing forward, right? I take my right leg, I move it out to the side, and look, my foot's turned out a little bit to the right. It's just the way it works. So here's all I want to say, keeping this simple. If you're gonna do a squat with your feet wide and your legs turned out, step as wide as you can, as wide as you want to go, right? I would say as wide as you're able to. If I can move my leg this far, that's about as far as I would move my leg. I wouldn't go further than that. So that's pretty safe. Here's the next thing. This is as far as my leg naturally turns out. I would say that's a safe way to do it. Now, you'll see a lot of people, and this is what my client was doing. She was part of an exercise class, and this was the instruction. They were saying, walk your toes out, and now do your squat. Here's the problem with that. This is as far as my leg can turn out. That's it. You see it? That's it. If I put my foot down and I walk it out further and I keep it out that wide, I keep it there, the only thing stopping it from spinning back in is friction, right? My weight pressing down on my shoe, the way my shoe interacts with the floor, there's friction. It's stopping my lower leg from spinning in. It's trying to spin in, but it can't. So again, keeping this sort of simple, if I do a squat with my feet wide and I move my feet, I turn them out wider than I can do it naturally on my own. If I turn them out wider, at this point, there's a force at my knee twisting my knee. That may not be so good for my knee. So look, in one position alone, that may be a problem. But we do this and then we add movement into it. We're just increasing the likelihood that we're gonna end up with some problems at the knees. Maybe other places too, but that's really the thing. So here's the deal, imagine if you were on ice. This is your exercise, your mental exercise if you're gonna do this. Imagine you were on ice and you twisted your feet apart. Would they stay apart on ice or would they spin back in? At some point, you're gonna go farther than you can hold them out yourselves and they would just spin in, right? On the floor, again, I can spin it out pretty far and keep them there, right? But if I was on ice, they would just spin back in. So that's how I know it's too far. That's something to think about when you're doing these exercises. Wide, feet turn out naturally a little bit. Don't turn them out extra, leave them where they are. Do your squat. We can talk about squat depth and all that some other time. There's lots of variations with that. But anyway, that's a take-home message. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.